Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sue's Day. I'm Sue Ann Jafarian, the fat woman driving the novel RV. I'm coming to you today for the last time from Wetumpka, Alabama. I leave tomorrow and I won't be back for a very long time. I have loved my stay here. I should say stay since I came back and forth a lot. But anyway, today I want to address a question that I've been asked a couple of times. Whether or not I have been stopped or had run-ins with the police anytime during my travels. After all, I'm traveling all over the country and rural and city, and so people want to know if I've ever been stopped by the police. I don't know if they think I have a lead foot or if I'm running from a bank job or what, but people wanted to know, so here you go. I have been approached by the police a few times while in my van. One time, it was just, I was in a parking lot getting ready to go to lunch at a nearby restaurant, and a couple of police officers came up and they were just curious about the van. They wanted to know all about it. And that's quite common. People stop me still after all these years and ask about the van. The other two times were when they came to me for various reasons. The first one was a well check. I was on Interstate 90 heading to my family in the middle of a rainstorm in 2019. And I needed to use the bathroom. Now, one of the neat things about my van is it has its own bathroom. So that highway has some really nice wide turnouts. So I pulled into one, left the van running, trotted to the back of the van, used the facilities, and I was just washing up and finishing when there came a knock on the door in the middle of a rainstorm. So I peeked out the window, and there was a trooper, state trooper or highway patrol, whatever, standing there on the side of my van knocking. So I opened the slider and asked him if everything was okay, and he asked me, "Ma'am, are you okay?" "Yeah, I just needed to pee." So this young man looked at me, and there's the rain dropping off his hat. I mean, it's coming down on top of him and dripping off his hat. And he says, "Well, what?" And I said, "Well, I'm old, but I need to pee. I need to pee." Well, I could see he wanted to laugh, but he didn't. He was very tight-lipped, trying to suppress that. And he said to me, "Ma'am, the next time you need to pee, could you please put on your hazard lights?" So that was the first time I was stopped by the police or approached by the police. I was already stopped. The second time I was also already stopped. It was in Plainview, Texas, I believe, where they have painted cows all over town. Now, these are pretty cool. Like Dairy Queen has a cow, and it's painted in Dairy Queen colors and motif. And McDonald's has one, and the Chamber of Commerce has one, and the local newspaper has one. And they're all painted. Some are well cared for, some aren't. But I was going around town taking pictures of painted cows. Actually, I've been corrected. They're steers because they have the big horns. They're beef steers, but to me, they'll be painted cows. Anyway, I was heading out of town after taking many pictures, and I pulled over because I saw another one, and this one looked really nice. I mean, it was beautifully painted, no graffiti, it was in great shape. And it was painted like a police officer. So, stopped the van, and I stayed in the van. I didn't get out. I just opened my sliding door, and it was a perfect height for me to take that photo. And I took several photos. I zoomed in on it, and I took a couple of photos, and it was really beautifully painted. Well, I'm back in my driver's seat, getting ready to pull out when I see a police vehicle coming at me from across, I guess, the field towards the fence, right at me. So I'm thinking, well, should I just leave? But that makes me look like I'm running from something, and it's the police. So I just stayed there, and the policeman drove up to the fence, climbed out of his vehicle, climbed through the fence, and approached my passenger side of my van. "Ma'am, what are you doing?" "I'm taking pictures of the painted cow, your painted cow." "Ma'am, are you aware that you are not allowed to take photos of correctional facilities?" "What?" I'm looking past him at the buildings that are in the distance. They're not close to the street at all. I mean, they're way in the distance. And they do look like industrial buildings, kind of, sort of. And I said, "Are you saying this is a prison?" "Yes, ma'am, this is a prison. And you cannot be here taking photos." Well, my first impulse was to say, "Then why in the hell do you have a painted cow right here next to the fence?" But I bit my tongue and I just apologized and said, "I'm sorry, I wasn't aware of that. Um, excuse me." And I even offered him my phone. I said, "If you want, you can see the photos and see that none of them are of the buildings. It's just of your painted cow." And he just said, "No, ma'am, that won't be necessary. Just, keep that in mind for next time." So he went back through the fence, climbed back in his vehicle, and drove back across the field towards the buildings. Now, I'm sure in some room where they're watching all the security cameras, he probably went in there and said, "It was nothing, just some fat old woman taking a picture of our damn cow." So that was the second time I was seriously approached by a police officer. Now, I have gotten one speeding ticket in all the years I've been on the road. The only moving violation I've ever gotten, I've not even gotten a parking ticket. But the one speeding ticket I got was in a very tiny town in Kansas. And it was one of those photo speed traps where, the speed limit is 55 and then it drops to 35 within just yards of the reduced speed warning sign. And they got me on camera going about 40 in a 35-mile-an-hour zone, and it cost me $75. So, word to the wise, when you see a sign that says reduce speed ahead, you slow down then. Don't coast to slowing down. Slow down right then and there, because I'm sure a lot of these small towns have these speed traps. Anyway, that's my Tuesday video for today, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please come back next Tuesday for another video, and you enjoy your week. Thank you for being here.